This is pretty much what happened to us today. What's up going on? What's going on with you guys? Greg B here, and welcome to the breakdown. We are once again in the virtual bar today, and after today's performance, we need a few drinks in our system. And I am not going to be doing this by myself. As you can clearly see, I have my drinking partners here lined up and ready with me. On the side of me is President Chad, and below us is my boy CJ. Gentlemen,
Yeah,
today was a tough one.
And
Today was an absolute tough one.
contrary to what anybody may think, CJ is of drinking age. Okay,
hmm
so
He
you
is
know,
he is eligible to drink. I think he chooses not to though.
yeah.
All
Unless
right.
it's Shandy.
Well, yeah. Anybody have a good shandy? Sorry, shandy. They could distribute to my partner. Feel free to send it to me. I'll pick up the tab on this one. So, guys, today was not a day to remember for Manchester United fans, and it seems like they paid Arsenal fans to do their PR because all over my timeline on Facebook, I just saw Arsenal fans propping up. Oh, but we beat Arsenal. I was like, this is just you guys using this result as a way to get over your pain of losing to us. We understand. We'll allow it, and we understand. But the reality of the situation, oh my God. Yeah, I don't know where that came out from. Apparently, my voice in the background is reminding me of what I said earlier that Erling Haaland is a cheat code. And he really is when you think about it. He really is when you think about it because, dude, the score line is a reflection of such. Today, oh my goodness. Manchester City 6, Manchester United 3. That does not make for pretty reading. CJ, let me start with you. What did you make of the result?
It's a disappointing one, but what you could do really. I mean, today I think it's just that we weren't on it at all. City was on a different level. Like his level stayed. City was on a different level, and it's bad, but at the same time, I'm not scared of anything considering the kind of coach we have. So it's nothing
Mhm.
terrible to say we can't bounce back from, but it is on the day not a good result. It's not a
Yeah.
great goal.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you collect 6 from any team, far less be it in Man City, it's never a result for good reading. President, I know you were at 63 today, and what was the atmosphere like during the game for you? What was everybody's mindsets?
well, I mean, when the goals, it was 1-0 for a long time in the first half. And I know for me, I was like, if we could make it through to half time, I know the second half, when Ten Hag talked to them fellas, I didn't know what he was going to tell them. I really didn't know what Ten Hag was going to say at halftime. But I say, I know if we could make it to halftime, we'll do something better in the second half. And lo and behold, in about 15 minutes, it moved from 1-0 to 4-0. And, so people's heads would start to drop. It was disappointing. But at the same time, it's always nice when you're linemen with
Mm.
United supporters. It had one or two City men on the inside, but because it was so small in number, which I guess is normal all over the world, it really didn't matter. So it was able to drink and talk amongst ourselves, and the atmosphere was jovial despite how the game was going. And in the second half, we had three things to cheer about.
Mm.
So and it's always nice to be able to cheer.
Yep.
And the second half performance was a lot better, even though by about halfway through the second half, we were playing City B team. As long as Haaland on the pitch, it kind of hard to call them that, but
True.
you know, but yeah, the atmosphere wasn't was good. The atmosphere was good, and it's always good to hang out and with other United supporters when they're winning or whether you're losing.
That's true. I mean, you have everybody there who's on your side. And as you mentioned, City fans, speaking of which, Mr. Martin Phillip has graced us with his presence, sending a pleasant good afternoon. I'm sure he is in his glee more than anybody else at this current time. What can
Yeah,
you do?
Martin
Well,
City.
well played. Like I said before, Erling Haaland is a cheat code. There's no getting away
Wait,
from that.
Wait, hold on. Martin
Hmm.
Phillips is a City fan?
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh,
I thought you were aware of this, CJ.
no, I thought he was just constantly here because he liked United. Damn.
No, he literally comes and does
he's
streams with Jad and is wearing a City jersey.
he's a supporter of the channel, but he's a City supporter.
Hmm.
Oh, then again, I do acknowledge City fans, so I, I don't know. I wouldn't really know. I don't really
Oh
take
God.
like, I don't know. I
Ay,
don't
ay,
really,
ay.
how Roman Reigns just say acknowledge me. I don't really acknowledge them. It's like, oh, them there, oh, them there. So, like most of my raps come from people who like fans who like to see me lose. But when I see fans laugh at me, they mean, oh, you here?
No.
Okay,
In the words of Matt Riddle, bro.
yeah, oh wait, oh yeah, it's have here, yeah, like oh yeah, it exists. Damn, that's a
Yeah, yeah, and I have the unfortunate displeasure of knowing at least about three. One works with me, and the other two are like one is a music friend, and the other one is from another group. Yeah, I try my
so
best to kind of deal with them. But anyway,
So I
going
was
back
at
to go ahead,
I was
go ahead, Jack.
I was at 63 as you know, and I did a couple interviews. We have it posted,
Yeah.
match reactions. Um, it's on YouTube. So people watching us on Facebook, you gotta go to YouTube, check out the channel on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, like the video.
Hmm.
But I myself didn't give a match reaction. I kind of asked people for theirs. So I want to say, we like, I'm hearing a lot of people talking about, even Lyman at the bar, a lot of people like, oh, this was the game to start Casimiro. And I think we mustn't be revisionist.
exactly.
Scott McTominay started this game, and Ten Hag himself said that in the press conference after the game. Scott McTominay started his game on merit. He was the best holding midfielder we have had over the past 5 games.
Exactly.
And the times we've seen Casemiro, wasn't ripping up trees. Even in the second half today. Okay, City only scored 2 more goals in the second half, but again, Casemiro wasn't ripping up trees. He wasn't looking spectacular for us today either. So Scott McTominay didn't have a bad game, but like nobody really had a good game.
Exactly.
He
I think
wasn't. You couldn't look at his play and say, "Well, yeah, Scott was mess." But so I don't want us to be revisionist. Yes, we
I,
got we got a lot
and
of goals, but that's my first point. Don't
and to build
revise
off of that,
history.
and to build off of that too.
Um,
So,
Secondly, I think Varane more than anybody else was really exposed today.
yeah, he was.
Varane was really exposed today. Malacia will need to adjust. I am looking. If it was any team that we needed to get, if it was any team we needed to lose to help put us on the right track for the rest of the month, we have 8 more games between now and the 30th. So we're playing a lot of football. 3 games a week. I would say there's a game
yeah,
because we know Ten Hag will get a response from these guys. He was asked
Hmm.
in the press conference, the last time you all lost, you had the guys run as punishment. What you're gonna do this time? And and Ten Hag said in the press conference, he said, "Well, it's not about punishment. We will outrun that game, and we needed to. That was necessary for that game." He said, "But this game, he saw different problems, and there were 2 things that stood out to me in the press conference.
hmm.
One was Ten Hag saying that he saw errors and that he will show the players the errors, and that they need to take it on board and hold themselves accountable. And the second thing is he kept talking about a mentality. So yes, there were errors, but clearly to Ten Hag, there was a lack of belief. In the press conference, he mentioned that at least 3 or 4 times that there was a lack of belief, there was a lack of belief, there was a lack of belief. So to him, a big part of why we underperformed was because we didn't play with confidence. When we had the ball, as he said, we didn't execute. We played tentatively. And clearly that seems to be what he has narrowed in on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Maybe that's part of it. We really clearly didn't execute offensively. Whatever
Yeah.
the offensive strategy was, we did not see it. So we don't know. We don't know. But clearly we did not execute offensively. Um, so but overall it was a poor showing, and I think it exposes the kind of things that we knew.
Yeah.
Martinez, sorry, is the more solid between him and Varane.
Yeah.
Varane
Very true. Very
is
true.
the,
He
is the
didn't have a he didn't have an absolutely terrible game, eh? Iman was still fighting.
Yeah.
Varane is the weaker link between those two.
Mm-hmm.
Malacia still has to adjust to the Premier League. I know people think that Malacia was doing really good, and to me, he was doing okay. But I think we will see the best of Malacia come November.
True.
And as
And
he ages too, as he gets older too.
Mm,
yeah, well, he's still a
correct.
young player.
He's
Yeah.
still young.
But in
Sounds
terms
like
of
what? He's
adjusting
only
to
like
the
what,
league,
22?
Yeah.
and I think it's the same thing with Anthony. Anthony
Mm-hmm.
has a lot of heart, he has a lot of passion, he has a lot of fire. He needs to be able to channel that properly. The goal he scored today was actually the best goal of the game. Even though
True.
City scored 6 goals, most of them was just really clinical finishes close to the box. But that worldly from
Mm-hmm.
outside the box from Anthony was, that was some special. But
Mm-hmm.
he as well, despite the goal against Arsenal, Anthony hasn't really settled in this team yet. So I think we have a lot more gears. This United team for me today played in second gear, but
Mm.
even at our best, I think we've only reached third gear. And
Yeah.
it is nice to know that we could beat Liverpool and Arsenal in third gear, because I still think we have levels, at least 2 more levels to go up. So disappointed with the result, but inside of myself, we know, regardless of what the table says, that City is the creme de la creme of the Premier League, and we just not on that level as yet.
Nope.
So this was a real test for Ten Hag and the team, and now we had to pick ourselves up because we still have Spurs and we still have Chelsea to play before the end of the month, and Newcastle, who is
Uh,
actually performing very well right now.
Yeah.
That
A
was
That's it.
a
lot.
that was
A
a
lot
nice
of football. Before
loss.
we go any further, I want to take a few comments in. I want to say good afternoon to DJ Inferno, who said that there was a lot of subpar performances. And also good afternoon to Courtney Andrews, who's listening as well too. And Clive Jack has a lot to say on this matter. So let me put Clive Jack's comment here. He said, doesn't matter. Man City is somewhat of a complete team, if not the most complete team in the Premier League. We fought back, which is what we never did with previous coaches. Well done, Martial. He did more than CPR7. Yo, see that we just going in on Ronaldo, aren't we? Saying a bad situation. He said that was the measuring stick for him. I want to kind of touch on that piece in Clive Jack's comment here. The fact that we didn't really see Cristiano Ronaldo today. Everybody was saying, a lot of people were saying, why didn't he play? A lot of people don't understand why he couldn't at least gotten a few minutes
Yeah.
in.
Hear my
CJ,
thing.
good.
Sorry to
Good,
interject.
CJ.
Eh? You see this coulda, shoulda, woulda thing we're doing as we lose. It makes no sense to me. As to
Mm-hmm.
build up from as Chad's comment of let's not be revisionist, let's be very honest with each other. What was Ronaldo going to do in this game that was going to be any different to the result? What was going to happen? What was he going to do? Ronaldo is in terrible form. Why would he play Ronaldo or start Ronaldo? I understand that Rashford was injured, but at the same time, there's if you look at Rashford's last game, he looked at it like that, and he picked the team on the last game. For example, if you watch the lineup, it's not the same. It's not the all different lineup from the Arsenal game. McTominay McTominay gets to play because McTominay plays on merit. And as fans, we've been asking that good players should get rewarded with more game time. And that was it. And I think it's not who we picked. I think it's just that City was just on a different level. And as Chad said, it was a test. So I think as fans, we need to understand that it showed us what was. So there's no if Casemiro played, if Ronaldo played, it would have been the same result probably based on our skill level at the moment. But to know
Right.
that but to know that we beat teams without Ronaldo, without Casemiro, and it's guys who just putting up an effort. We're the only people to beat Arsenal this season, bro. Like,
And
you know that
Arsenal fans are milking this to the best of their ability, seeing as they can't do it themselves. And we are currently joined by the provocateur himself, Mr. Robert Wallace. I'm glad that you're here for this one because I want to get your take on this. CR7's non-performance today, basically being on the bench. What's your take on that? Do you think he should have played? Do you think he shouldn't have played? How do you feel about this?
Um, it wouldn't matter if he was there, if he wasn't there. I mean, I think City was gonna beat us anyway, And to me, it's not just about you can't just blame one guy for a loss. It's the whole team. The whole team didn't perform, and I find personally that the team didn't have much fight. I mean, it's one thing to get beat, but we were embarrassed. That thing is, we were embarrassed. But it was 4-0 in the first half, and we were embarrassed. Pep had time to go and make changes, right? Brought on children, and then we scored. And then I don't know, it was very, very embarrassing. Like the team of old would have at least, fight. Hit
When
the
when
guy
when you
elbow.
say
Do
old,
something.
how old is talking about? Like the team of 15 years ago?
Yeah,
Because it can't be the
yeah.
team of last year.
No. The team of 15 years ago, yes. I mean, we would have fight, like we would have fought, man. We'd have like physically fight people. But
I wanna stick. Robert. I wanna stick a pin, and I wanna touch something you said there.
mm,
And I think as United supporters, we need to consider this. I was disappointed that Scott McTominay didn't get his fifth yellow.
mm,
Of all the things,
No, I'm serious because I really was looking out for it. But I think the referee set a tone. I think I am sure Ten Hag wanted these guys to be aggressive because in his press conference, as I said, he kept referring to the fact that he didn't see the right attitude. And you're asking yourself, well, what exactly is he talking about? Yes, he's talking about execution when we had the ball, but he's also we kind of lacked that fight in the first half, and I think the early yellows from the ref, and I haven't heard anybody talk about this, but the early yellows from the ref, I think that kind of affect the team. I think
Yeah.
guys told themselves, wait a minute,
no.
we can't be as aggressive
I was
as we
sad,
want to
right?
be.
I was sad that we were 2-0 down and only two yellow cards. I was sad. Where was I don't know if you remember, right? Ronaldo Silva or the De Bruyne turned Ericsson. I had a chance to clean him out, but he didn't. He just said, "No, go ahead. It's okay. Go ahead." Why?
yeah, but
Let's
Robert, you
let
kind of
Team
have
of
to
Ericsson,
hold
old
on, hold
would have
on, hold
cleaned
on,
him
hold
up.
on.
let Ericsson
Take
game
a
now.
yellow.
Hold on.
Take
That's
a
that's
yellow.
why I know we're not saying. I mean,
Clear him
you
up.
you don't know Christian Eriksen's not a bruiser. You know his
Yeah, that's
game
the
Yeah,
Ericsson
but
his
game.
no,
his game
but
is
for
is
today,
intricate passes, setting
but
up
for
players. That's his kind of
today,
game.
but for today, right? For today, for this game, there's no niceness, no fight, man. I want to see fight. I want to see action. And in fact, that Scott, who was, according to all them men, the so-called Terminator, rah 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 rah. What did he do? He didn't fight nobody. He didn't fight nobody. Yeah, I don't understand. The man just took it up the bum sea. But
Say hello.
that was it.
All
But
right.
no kind of nothing.
Hey,
Please
pause.
be
No kind
advised
of
that the views
nothing.
expressed by Robert Wallace are not those
Hey,
of the United
I'm
or
sorry.
Robert,
Manchester United supporters in
I'm
the Caribbean.
sorry,
Robert,
but
Please.
no,
Robert.
look at the teams. Look
I
at the
just set a new
teams.
work.
No.
Don't do that.
Look at the teams, right? Who gave City a fight. And I mean a fight. But look at the teams who City drew it. These guys went at them, right? They went at them from minute 1 to minute 90. They were on their skin. When did you see any of our players do anything remotely to that? When? Not even Martinez. Even he and all, I was like, why are you allowing? I get it, right? Haaland is a cheat code. I get it. Haaland is not real, right? So far as I'm concerned, we got beat 1, 2, 6-3, right? At first I said it's a draw. It was 3-3. Because Holland's 3 goals didn't count. Because he's not real. He the figment of our imagination. He's not real. It was a draw, right? Holland not real,
Somebody
right?
get Robert a
Right?
somebody get
Holland
Robert a
not real.
drink, cause my
Holland not
God.
real. He not
Before we
real,
go any further, I'm gonna take some
right?
more comments.
But
Robert, hold your thoughts. I'm gonna let the
mm-hmm.
comments get involved too. We
Right.
need to be interactive with our viewers. So DJ Fredo has something here to say. He is saying that there's an APB out for Rashford, Sancho, and Anthony in the first half. I mean, can't say
Yep.
I disagree with him on that at all because
No.
I mean, the whole team in itself kind of felt like they were
But then
invisible at
again,
some point.
how the attack could be out visible if they're not getting anything to create?
That's a good
So
point. He also goes on to say that we need to face the fact that this is what other teams felt like during our dominance under Alex Ferguson. True. And he's also saying to regarding my point with Arsenal, he's saying Arsenal fans can go why not? What?
I
Sini
believe
Menchu,
so.
See, what's that?
bruh. DJ Inferno, you need to elaborate on what that is.
Hold on, let me Google it. Hold on.
Okay, thank you. Meanwhile, Nigel
That's
Sumari, good afternoon, and thank you for your contribution. He says, I don't believe too much that City is a mile ahead of us. Argument. Reasons being, smaller teams have done well enough against City. We just didn't show up today. We buckled under pressure at most times. I mean, there's merit to that.
mm.
And at 129, DJ Inferno saying that Dallo got a
Yeah,
yellow card for a shoulder charge.
which was dumb. That to me made no sense. That
Oh,
charge
And
was
Siraj,
dumb.
The ref
Siraj
said he
Isat,
The
Siraj
ref said
Isat
he
is saying
won't
just poor. He's saying poor, and he said it's a waste. And he says
oh,
he's also saying that he loves how Man City plays ball.
But
It's kind
Yeah,
of
so
hard,
like
to argue
no,
with that
but
because I mean,
then
when you look at it, City's become almost the litmus test for the Premier League at this point. If you can get a point off of them, you pretty much accomplish something in this regard because the way that team is set up, it's kind of hard to, if you get a win, you've earned it.
mm,
That's
yeah,
that's that's the safest way to say. But anyway, I wanna touch on another subject. Let's move on as we go on. But Robert, let me finish off your point. Let me let you finish off your point before we move forward. I know you had a lot to say
all
just
right.
now.
Mm. Oh, the yeah, because I'm just saying that the I understand Holland is Holland. I understand that, but what I'm saying is that there was no aggressive nature in our play. Whereas people may say that City is not aggressive, right? But they are. If you, I mean, as all of you all know, they will be in a game and they will fall players on purpose. They do this every game, right? They fall guys on purpose just to break up the momentum of play. They do that. So why? So my thing is, why couldn't we not do that? Even if we were losing the game, fair enough. I don't mind losing the game, but is the way that we lose was my problem.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean, we had to be careful where we foul players. City have about three
exactly,
guys that could score some worldies for free kicks.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But before you shift gears, I just wanna you asked a question about Ronaldo, and some people
Hmm.
talking about, oh, we should have started Ronaldo. I was on the phone talking to somebody halftime, and he was like, oh, Ten Hag is a waste of time coach if he don't bring on Ronaldo. And I was telling myself, but these guys had to be crazy. This is the one game that you did not want Ronaldo. Ten
no.
Hag was asked about Ronaldo in the press conference after the game, and he said, at 4-0 down, what am I bringing on Ronaldo to do?
To do what?
Ronaldo stat here in the game. What am I bringing him on at this stage to do? And I think he was suggesting that at this stage is damage control, and
Yep.
you don't need to put Ronaldo through that. But let's be real. Anybody who has success against City has it the same way: balls over the top, balls in behind, pace, counter-attacking football. That is the only way to beat City. If it
Right.
is one thing Ronaldo does not have anymore is pace.
No.
We playing Ronaldo on the pitch to do.
No, but it come like
It's the
it come,
only attribute he doesn't
Yeah, but
have.
then you
Is the
see,
one
my thing
attribute
is
he needed
why
against
is
us.
he?
So
But
it
why
didn't
is he
make
even a
sense.
topic? He wasn't even
no,
playing.
because it's Ronaldo, Robert. If you
And
think
then
about it,
two, right?
Exactly.
I don't like how the TV, right? The TV guys, every goal that scored, they show Ronaldo. They show him
Exactly.
poor Ferguson, right? He up in his stands and falling down, right? And they show him as though what? What can he do? This poor old man in the stands.
But
I don't understand
understand why you're saying when you hear Ronaldo argument.
why every no, you all watch the game, right? Every goal that scored,
Alright.
the man pan Ronaldo. Why? Why
No,
didn't
because
pan on Harry Maguire face? Eh? Where,
They did.
where? Eh,
They
he did.
did.
right.
They
Thank
did.
you. It's a bunch of nastiness, man. Men blaming Harry Maguire for our loss. What did he do? He wasn't even there.
No, but
But
also
yet,
too,
but yet, that's the thing. They look to do that, and they use that as a meme. If in case you haven't noticed.
Yes,
but
I
understand,
know. And
like,
it's work because I have a few of them home. Don't worry. I have a few coming. I have a few
no,
on
but
the
the
phone.
thing is, though,
You see, you're
it's
not
like
helping the situation.
Ronaldo. No, because
Go ahead, CJ. Go ahead, CJ. Go ahead.
the Ronaldo problem, I feel people need to stop fooling themselves. I remember I sent a video with, to be honest about Ronaldo, is from Rabona TV. Check him out. Proper analyst. Because I'm plugging him in my eyes watching man. He said it like this. There's a place and time where I think the fan base and people who like Ronaldo, who just watch football, you're divided into a space where one, you like Ronaldo, you know, and we understand that. But then there's one point that you're fooling yourself because of past form. You're fooling yourself thinking people say, well, hey, Ronaldo is shining in these big moments. When has he shined in these big moments? This season. Let me look at no, because you know what's going
We can even go back to last
Last
season and
season.
everything, because I mean,
exactly.
two of his hat tricks. One was against Spurs. The other one was against Norwich. He scored a goal against Chelsea. He scored what? A brace against Arsenal. He did nothing against City last season. He did nothing against Liverpool last season. He did nothing against Liverpool this season.
Right.
So he did
But
nothing
then
against Arsenal
again,
this season.
And you can't, bro. You know what is getting me every time we lose, and it is getting all the fan base. As Chad just say, everybody just become revisionist. Everybody just come as we should have seen this, we should have seen that. Brother man, we do not have that kind of power. I don't think God just bless people with that just so. You 4 games before, right? 4 games before this loss, who was changing anything in this team prior
I
to
I personally would have put
Yeah.
Casemiro. Personally, that's just
okay?
me.
Yes, but
I-
the
That's it.
Sociedad
But
game
that's
clearly
it.
showed that he wasn't ready yet,
Okay,
and that's why
I know,
McTominay was
but
playing.
he won't get ready unless you play him.
no, but
When will
also
he get?
too,
When?
no, but also too, you can't, even if you liked Casemiro on, you couldn't really vex with McTominay starting based on his last games. Let me be
Exactly.
real.
Merit.
Four-
You
for the
people
4
you want people
games.
to perform. You want people to perform
Exactly.
and perform well, and then you want them to be in the team for the next game because they're keeping that level of performance up.
Exactly.
Dropping McTominay to put in Casemiro because his Casemiro goes highly against everything that would have been
And on top
fitting
of
that
that,
logic.
Scott could get vexed and talk to the manager about that because you know what it is. I gave you 4 good games. I gave 4 good games. 4 good games against opposition that is dread, especially the Arsenal game where I was very clinical. You didn't come and tell me, oh well, City's a big fish game now, boy. Barbie big fish team, what are you talking about? Where you
Exactly.
gonna tell the man? Oh nah, I just going with Casemiro because what? Vaps, Casemiro didn't give himself a good form a run. I'm not saying that he's not good. I'm not saying that, but and it would have been unfair to Casemiro to put him in such a big game for him not to be so ready. We have to understand that. But what gets me is that the fan base is now gonna go on Twitter, now gonna go on social media saying, "Oh, Scott's not good enough." Again, there's gonna be why Bruno Fernandes, why we should have said Bruno Fernandes instead of Pogba by some fans who I don't know, I don't know by, or they just sound like a broken record. And my thing is, and I always say it, you could have put anybody there, we were going to lose because it's just City, bro.
Yeah.
And if we are won, if we would have won, you'd have seen essays on why Scott McTominay is underappreciated. You have to pick your argument.
Hey, listen, man. I said it from. I was wrong in one thing, right? I did say on a show that Haaland wouldn't really hit the heights. He would have scored, but I hit the heights. I was wrong.
Yeah.
The man got cheat code. The man is just different. The man different. I watched
But
him
Robert-
and the man different.
You better than most men because at least you take your L and move on. Men will
Exactly.
now men will be changing the tune every day based on results.
Mm.
No,
If it doesn't fit the narrative, change the
Because
subject.
now,
That's the
exactly.
mindset.
now you see again. I'll back to this, right? I will say it again. I don't mind the I don't mind the loss. The loss is fine. Is the way, is
Yeah,
the manner of the loss. The manner of the loss
and
is my
fair
problem.
enough
The manner,
because
And
because
you
I
know,
felt
and
as though like we didn't try. That's I mean, people could say I'm wrong, but to me, I didn't see any fights. 1-0, 2-0, I didn't see the fights. By the time that hit
Courtney,
three, we gave up. By
Courtney kind
four,
of shares your sentiments in this comment here because he's coming out and saying that Ten Hag got it wrong. He says you can't give City all that possession and expect not to get beaten. Now,
yeah,
in my estimation, it's like how many teams this season have you known that have gone up and gone toe to toe with City possession wise though?
none,
even the
So
games,
none.
even the games where men draw, they didn't have all that possession actually.
No, you,
They just
like
played on
Chad
the
say, you
counter.
have to be on them, hit the money break. That's what you had to do. And when you get a
yeah,
chance, score. Like how
exactly.
Anthony scored his goal, he took it,
Hmm.
bam.
Man, take a
But the
chance.
problem
Yeah,
with his goal that they came back right after and was like, right
Yeah.
after.
yeah. Haaland like he took that personally.
Yeah.
So
But
he
also
had
too,
he had a Michael Jordan in the last dance moment.
and I find the funniest thing was when I think what killed me is that as fans we kind of do it to ourselves too. Like I see somebody post up, well, I wonder how Pogba feels, and I mean, why do you care though? Or why do you
Exactly.
The
care?
man gone.
This
He
is it.
gone.
The man
He hasn't
gone.
even played
You
that
see,
game.
them is
Honest.
men, right, who got dumped by the girl until vexing life. Dog
Exactly.
is 5 years now ago, get over it. She gone. She gone.
There's a man who then
She
start up them
gone.
podcast and say, why are women bad? So, you
First
are
of all, go and bathe, right? Learn how to read and write and spell. Get a good job, right? And then maybe try something.
and that's what I'm
Maybe
God, I'm
saying.
getting
move
I'm
out
getting a
from your
headache.
mom house, right? Get a car, right? I mean,
Instead of
Let me
and
tell
you
you, if you actually look at the average age of some of the people who are having these keyboard warriors on Twitter, like some of these people are actually in their teenage years. It's
dog,
like I saw
exactly
one picture,
it is.
somebody getting exposed. The boy's probably barely a day over 12,
Pause.
and he's
Pause.
out here trying to come at big men and get these people talk.
I don't
I have
know.
Football Twitter.
literally seen on Twitter men
Hmm.
making essays after the game done. And I just tell myself, and I go on through the tweets before and I tell myself, but wait, this was not your thought 2 days before though on
No,
insert player here. Sir,
Exactly.
no.
go get a
Exactly.
hobby. Sir, no. That makes no sense. What men talk about we should have gotten Frankie de Jong. Wait, but last week you said Ericsson filling the Frankie de Jong
Yep.
role. Which one is it,
Mm.
sir? Hold on.
I
And,
did say from
and
day one. I said from day one. I told you, Chad, and I told you, don't chase Frankie. I never changed. Don't
I don't,
chase him.
and we not
I
vexed
never
with it.
changed.
We ain't vexed with it. And you know what gets me? You know what going to be the kicksy part if we go on unbeaten race, watch and see how men talk
Coach
about.
flip.
Let's have a
Don't flip.
conversation about
No, you
same
see,
player I talk
is
trash about.
you're a bigger man in life, right? Like I'll make statements, right, that I know, right, are very reckless, right? I know that. I make some real bad statements. But at least I say it and I stand by it. Whatever Greg say, I'll take my pong. I say, okay, Greg, pong me, not seeing Greg, okay, Greg, okay, Greg. But here's my point. I'm going down with my ship, right? I'm going
Press,
down with my
can
ship.
we clip this when we get a chance, please? Can we clip
Yes,
this when we get a
Ah,
chance?
no problem.
I
No
feel
All right.
problem.
So switching gears. I mean, let me get this comment in here from Mark Lewis real quick. Good afternoon to Mark. I saw you at the bar having that time yourself, brother. So I'm glad for you. Mark is saying, "So them is the kind of men who will write a book on why red woman not good at that turn around and these are."
yeah. And you know what? I go on. Not
I
throw
hope
shade.
to God, Mark talking, not talking from experience here.
No, but you gotta
I go on throw shade. I
understand.
go on throw shade on this show too. These kind of
Ah,
fellas, I remember this one guy. He will always talk about women don't do this, women don't do that. Now, mind you, I know him personally, but I know he close friends. Imagine this, eh? Imagine behind this keyboard, right? This man will say how women is gold diggers, yada yada yada. But brother, when you see who he tracking, when you know who he tracking, what you tracking? Gold diggers, sir. Women ain't the problem, bro. It's not the woman king. It's
Gentlemen,
you.
I
we
You.
want to
wanna
make sure we want to make sure to segue just before you go any further, Chad. I want to make sure everybody who's tuned in, like, share, subscribe, and also a quick
Yeah.
reminder: we are looking at having a giveaway when we hit 10,000 subscribers for an autographed Cristiano Ronaldo jersey. So when we hit that 10 million subscribers, we will have a draw. I believe it's at the end of the season, correct, Press?
Yes, once we hit our mark, we're going to be giving away that T-shirt at the end of the season. Well, once we hit the mark before the end of the season or by the end of the season, we'll be giving away the shirt. So once that mark is hit, we're going to do that Ronaldo
Right.
giveaway.
Just
And
a reminder:
obviously, you're
go
going to
out
need
there,
to
and
be a
share.
subscriber to be eligible.
Exactly. So like, share, subscribe the videos, tell a friend, tell two friends, let them tell two friends, and so on and so forth. So yeah, you were gonna make a original point, Press.
Yeah, well, I wanted to play the on the record because on the record this week on Thursday show, the
Mhm.
question was about the derby and prediction. So I want to play what men said at that time, as we're
Okay.
talking about, going back and revisiting men's prior statements. And I want to touch on this statement from Courtney here, where he say, you don't have to take the game. You have to take the game to City. You're not going to outplay them. And
Yeah.
with giving them all that possession. And I wanna say this. I got the sense from Ten Hag that was exactly the game plan.
Mhm.
I don't always watch press conference reactions, especially
Mhm.
when we win. But I was glad I watched
Yeah.
this one today. Because one of the things Ten Hag talked about was confidence, and when we had the ball, we didn't take our chances, we didn't move effectively with the ball. And that tells me that he wanted this team to push. When we have the ball, take it to City. And we never did that. And I don't think it was because Ten Hag didn't want the team to do that. Clearly, the team didn't execute. And that is why Ten Hag seemed to think it was a mentality thing, that we were timid, that we were, we weren't aggressive enough, and we weren't taking the fight to them. I guess he would agree with Courtney and he would agree with Robert in terms of how the players' attitude. But we just touching. This is a very short clip, guys. It's only 2 minutes. So let's see what we predicted on Thursday. Straightforward question. Give me your prediction. Give me your score for the derby. So, who wants to go first?
United
I
winning
don't.
1-0.
My
1-0.
prediction, United 1-0. My heart saying 2-1 to United, but in my head, I feel that all our best laid plans might go awry and it might end up 3-1 to City. We might score first and we might hold them down to the end, and then somebody like a Gundogan coming off the bench to poison us down in the end when they're tired from executing the anti-Haaland plan. So whilst my heart wants to say 2-1 United with a worldie from Fred, I feel my mind really telling me 3-1 City.
Now by 1-0 for me.
Martin Phillips says 3-1 City. Kev, talk to me, brother, on the record.
Thought they're gonna skip me, man. I was hoping. No, I'm just kidding. 2-1 to City. The gap was
2-1 to
too
City.
yeah, the gap was 2-way last season. I think we closed it, but I don't think we've closed it enough, especially going into the game, possibly without Rashford and Martial. Significant losses. I would be more confident for a draw, but not confident for a draw. So 2-1 City.
I don't know hot skull like he peeping my brain. Because Hot Skull in the comments says 2-2, and that is my score. I am expecting goals. I just can't see us keeping. I could see how.
I mean, you wasn't wrong when he said you're expecting goals, eh? There was a lot of goals in the game. We be real.
I mean, and we got a worldie from a Brazilian. It just wasn't Fred.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Nine goals.
you know
Charlie
where?
were right. But Charlie
you know
were
where-
right.
And
It
we're
was
and
3-0.
we're joined by Kevin Cave. What's
Yeah,
up,
bro.
Kev?
What's up, fellas?
But
But
I
you were
feel,
right. It's true.
but
It
I
was
feel what
Huh?
hurt
true.
my chest.
It
What
was
hurt my
true
chest is
all.
when you know what hurt my chest when Hotspur said he not even captain in Haaland. Boy, I captain Haaland. What you mean, way? Let me don't get a.
Bro.
Relax yourself.
Hey,
I
no,
ain't
no.
Captain
Remember,
I
Haaland
think
either. I
the
remember.
only
I
people
captain
who gain
Haaland.
positives from this result were people who have Haaland in their FPL teams.
But
Haaland
I
People who
man,
is
captain.
not real.
Yeah,
I
when
ain't
Man, the
yeah.
Captain
goals
Haaland
don't
and not
count.
taking a big L this week. Because
when all
most of the
Man,
world
goals don't
Captain
count.
Haaland.
The game
when
was
all
Captain
pure.
lose,
Haaland, I
I
get
captain
40
Haaland.
points.
We don't lose, I captain Haaland. I don't care. If we against him, if we're not against him, Haaland gets captain. I'm very
Yeah.
sorry, you guys.
Yeah,
It's
that's,
it,
that, that he's on a different level right now. He's on a
yeah,
different
bro.
level.
That man
You
actually
So
need
good.
investigating.
bro, I don't know what Alfie's been feeding that kid, but some there has to be some steroid in whatever food he's
Yeah,
giving him.
he feeding
3
him.
But
hat
yeah,
tricks in a
No,
row.
but they revealed what he
Yeah.
feeding
3
him
hat
though.
tricks in a row.
You know?
they did. What if he did him?
Vengeance.
Yeah.
Who is he? Bruce Wayne?
Yeah.
No,
No, but no. Did you all see the guy's interview after the game? The man asked him, "So, Haaland, this is the game you can looking forward to, right? How was it?" He's like, "It's okay.
yeah, boy.
It was alright.
Dog,
Wow.
he a cyborg.
Wow.
Cause he
He
just
Wow.
normal. He didn't sit.
Wow.
It didn't matter to him.
A man,
We don't matter."
a man said if we had to go back in time, we had to tell Roy Keane to hit
Dog,
Alfie nuts.
Fabrizio Mano said, right? No.
No, man. No way. No, man said he hit the wrong part of the man body, dog. I was like, dog.
We cannot. Yo, I am not saying we can do it in this. No,
Yes,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean
do.
to laugh out like that.
I choose violence.
You
I
see-
choose
you
violence.
see,
I do.
this is why people don't invite you
I
nowhere, Robert. Anyway.
choose violence. I do. I choose it every day.
Oh god. So
Every
look,
day.
let's,
If Rubber got time machine, no.
Man, was
Hmm.
dog.
moving on. Moving
Have a
on.
list.
So,
Have a list. You know him a list?
guys, we want to segue into this discussion. And this question was something I think we need to ask: how can Eric Ten Hag learn from this? Because today was clearly a lesson taught. Pep Guardiola schooled him in more and by every sense of the word. And I believe it was. It's a question that we have to ask ourselves. I mean, he's only been in the job 2 months as regards the league concerns. So, what do you think he can learn from this, and what do you think would be the best thing he can do to rectify what went on? I mean, because we saw the press conference, he said that he felt like a lot of the players are having confidence issues. And would you agree with that, Kev? Let me start with you. Do you think that a lot of the things that are going on with United's team, probably particularly the front line, do you think it's really confidence going forward?
I think that's I mean, sports is very much psychological, so I think that's he's pinpointing because the guys have the ability. We saw them for the past prior to the break, we saw them in the previous 4 games. Even in prior to last season, we saw them do the business. In 20 to 21 season, 19-20 season. So the capability is there. So it's very much mental. Have to get them out the old ways because today look like an old game where they were just trying to force errors, stuff that it doesn't fit a Ten Hag system. McTominay, Eriksen, Bruno, Rashford, Sancho in that first half were atrocious. So it has to be mental, and I'm glad Ten Hag is trying to address it because going forward, you're definitely going to need these guys cannot afford to do that, else they won't be more 6-3s, but they will find themselves having to claw back at games, and we don't want that. We want to be on the front foot. And this is something that happened on the Ollie a lot. Us having to claw back games because they lack that mental fortitude. We want to be on the front foot and stay on the front foot and in control. So yeah, I think attacking the mentality, the psychological aspect is definitely the way forward, so that they won't repeat these mistakes. And we saw when they got the belief, we saw what happened in the second half. Hey, in my opinion, we won the second half. I don't care what the boy tell me. We won 3-2.
No,
so so
nah. Me and
I agree. I agree.
me and
Yeah, I
Ollie
mean, I
and
mean,
Logan.
to just to kind of jump on that last point where you say you saw that a lot of under Ollie that they didn't have that mental fortitude. I think it takes a lot of mental fortitude to come from behind and win a game. But having said that, I get
the
the gist
confidence
of
to
the
start. The
yeah,
confidence to
yeah, yeah.
start.
I,
To
I,
go
and I
behind.
gather that's what you meant. I gather that's what you meant because I
Yeah,
mean
yeah.
to be able to be consistent and to play strong and go at a team from the word go from the minute the whistle blows to start the match. That is something that
Mm-hmm.
for some strange reason Manchester United's attack doesn't seem to have that willingness and that settling ability to do. Um,
Yeah.
I'm gonna spread the question across the board. I mean, Chad, where do you think Ten Hag goes from here as regards like rebuilding these players' confidence? Some of the players that especially the ones who would have felt like they underperformed to date.
You see the attack, like the first two games, where you could identify one, two, three. You all were horrible. Bench for the next game. We don't bench Ericsson. We don't bench Bruno. Rashford now come back. If we get opportunity for Rashford to get some running in his legs, we're gonna leave Rashford on the bench. I mean, I believe our next game, which is a Europa game, Ronaldo should start, but not because we benching Rashford, just because that is the kind of game that Ronaldo could do something for us in. But so this is not a game where it's easy to pinpoint to pick players, right? The team as a whole underperformed. I would like to see expect to see some rotation. But one of the things Ten Hag said, because he mentioned that when the team underperformed against Brighton, he went for the run with the players, and he probably has to do better at communicating, right? He's taking responsibility for the lack of attitude and the lack of fight, for the lack of confidence. That maybe he didn't, I don't know, rev the fellas up enough, get them, hyped enough for the game. That's what I assume he meant by what he said.
Mm,
But confidence comes from winning. So the
true.
first thing he had to learn from this is show the guys their weaknesses, where they made mistakes. And the next team we play, regardless of who starts, because I think Casemiro should get a start as well. Not because he deserves it, but because he is not going to reach where we expect him to reach if he don't play. So I would like to
Very
see
true.
Ronaldo and Casemiro in the next team. As again, not as punishment to anybody who played in this game, but just because we need these guys.
But that's
I
the
would
thing.
love to see Martial. I don't know how Martial could start if Ronaldo start. I don't know, right? So, but some one of them had to start.
It's gonna be
Martial
it's gonna be interesting to see what Ten Hag does for that next game.
or
I can't know the
Ronaldo,
team
but
that we're playing. What
I can't. I will.
who
We'll say who we playing before the show
all
is
right.
done. But the
Okay,
biggest
let me.
thing, the
Mhm.
takeaway for me, is the next team we play. We just had to beat them up. We had to spank them. We had them four.
Fair
That is the
enough.
takeaway for
Yeah,
me.
it can't
Fair
be.
Because
enough.
the
Yeah,
only
Fair
thing
enough.
that is going to bring confidence is winning.
Fair enough.
That's it.
but
And
Fair
we
enough.
also
haven't played
CJ,
a lot of football before that game today.
true. CJ, let me go to you with this one. Given what Ten Hag has been saying in the press conferences, I mean, in games like this, I think you would see a lot of coaches in the past would have been like, well, Jose particularly would have been like, yeah, this player wasn't all that great today. He had a tendency to kind of pinpoint and highlight certain aspects of it in a way where it paints them in a negative light. Whereas Eric Ten Hag is basically he's not like just solely blaming it on the team himself. I believe he understood that he may have gotten a few things wrong in this regard, and he's kind of wants to go back to the drawing board with that. How refreshing of a take is that for you to see as regards with the way the manager is handling these press conferences?
is refreshing because, like I said, the results would have been probably a headache, and I tell myself, you know what, whatever. Same shit, just a different day with any other manager, even with Ole. But the reason I was very interested to see what happens is because all I remember when we lost to Brentford and Liverpool was next, and everybody didn't feel good about the Liverpool game. And he said that we need to do better, and he was very brutally honest in his presser. And he made men run laps. He cancelled breaks. He cancelled off days. he told them what it was, and he ran the laps with them. And then come the Liverpool game, we beat Liverpool. For me, I think in that ends there is a reaction to the situations that go down. So with Oli, we just hope that we move on and we hope that the team moves on. But there wouldn't be anything in place to change anything. You understand what I'm saying, fellas?
Mm.
But like with Eric, you're seeing different changes. You're seeing changes because you remember them 2 games we lose in a row. Men started to get benched. Luke Shaw got benched. Ronaldo got benched, and literally he played Malacia, he played Varane, and he played Lisandro Martinez in the game. So he did what he had to do. He adjusted. I think as people forget, Eric Ten Hag is not just a fella who is just wait and see and hope, you know. Eric Ten Hag is a fella who say, all right, let me go back to the drawing board. He and from what I've heard in his meetings, he basically shows them what they did wrong, how the whole game goes, instead of just talking to them, you know. So for me, I think he's going to have conversations with players, like how Chad said. Chad said an interesting thing that I find was real good. He said that he's gonna change the lineup, but he's not going to say, "Oh well, I just mentioned it because they play shit." No, he probably said, "You know what? I want to see what happens. You were not a bad player, but based on the result, I just want to see what happens with different players so we can get a little form within the team. So in case you're not up fit, which I'm not saying that you aren't, he could get something. So he could get a competition between the fellas. Because now, if you look at the attacking, with Martial being in form, there's competition. With Anthony getting the goals he gets, although he's not showing anything and he still has to adjust, he's getting goals. He's fighting for a position. There's competition. So for me, I think men will take the bench not to feel like the coach doesn't like me anymore, it's unfair. It's like, okay, he's trying something new, and maybe this is just me to up my game and get it better. So for me,
Right.
I'm not really worried for it. I'm not worried about this result destroying the season. I
Okay.
think in the next performance, if these men come out and hit teams 4 or 3, we know that hey, we getting somewhere. So yeah, I'm not worried about it. Eric, no, you
Okay.
do.
All right. So, Robert, this next question is for you. In an ideal world, how do you think? What would you consider Ten Hag's best response to something like this?
Um, well, our next match is against Oshonia, Oceania,
Omonisa
or
Nicosa, something like that. Omonisa
yeah.
Nicosa, something like that. I have no idea where they are. I have no idea what league they play in.
I wouldn't count that match. I think our next match against I think it's Everton or someone like that.
Hmm.
I think our next Premier League match is where we need to show that that this game was okay. It happened. Now this is our response. Just like similarly when we beat Arsenal, Arsenal went on the next game, which was I think Leicester, right? And they beat Leicester 6. That's what I want. We supposed to beat our next opponent 3-4-0, 3-4-1, or whatever it is. It should not be us again still struggling to beat someone 1-0, 2-1. It should be a comprehensive victory. Because if it's not, people will keep coming back and saying, well, maybe Arsenal was a blip. Maybe even Liverpool was a blip. Maybe it wasn't us. Maybe it was them. Maybe they were shit and then we didn't play good. You understand? I mean, we have to show that our football is working. That's what we have to show, that our football is working. So in an ideal world, I expect us to come back and hit Everton like 3 or 4-0. That's what I expect. I expect Rashford to come outside and score. Anthony scores, Sancho do something, show Southgate why you should have never left me home.
Exactly.
I mean, okay, fine, yeah, Scott fine, but then Scott need to show something. Bruno need to understand. Bruno, dog, you are the so-called captain now. Grow up here. Stop
And
crying. Stop being
and
a
stop
bitch.
and stop trying
Do
to give up
some.
the ball too much. I'm playing
Thank
up
you.
the ball.
Stop. No, you laugh, but stop all this Hollywood pass. No, doggy, you you're captain now. You're captain. You got the badge. You have it on your arm, right? You have it. Good. Show me. Because as much as we lost today, Ten Hag is at fault, yes. But then Bruno is the fault, and then the players are the fault. Because to me, I didn't see anything from him at 1-0, 2-0 to say, hey fellas, let me go again. I want Bruno to show me something next game. Show me that you are worth the badge.
I still kind of get this feeling, Robert, that sometimes I still kind of get this feeling that the captain's armband comes with a bit of a heaviness for some players whenever they wear it. Whether it's
It
Bruno,
does.
whether it's De
It
Gea,
does.
whether it's Rashford, whether it's Maguire, whether
Well,
whoever it is,
mhm.
it tends to be something like the measure of that responsibility, knowing that you have a standard to set. Martin
Or
Phillip
is it?
has an interesting take on what he thinks that United needs to do. He's saying that United need to do like City and get a good number 9, if not January by the summer. He said Ten Hag would to have to get the team up to speed with to win the next game. Winning makes bad things look good.
Well,
Interesting.
again, Martin Phillip, right? We can't all go out there, right, and buy an Android, okay? For all our money. For your damn teeth and
Or sp-
nasty
or-
people
or-
out, all
or-
there.
Or spend 300 million on an
Yeah.
entire defense. That's
Yeah,
another thing.
yeah, understand? We don't have
could
all
we,
money, okay?
Andrews?
We don't have a country to back with, okay? Martin
All
Phillip.
right,
Nasty
Robert. Calm down.
Like,
Calm
go
down.
on
Drink
so
your drink.
by.
Matt,
Go on
hey,
so by. Martin Phillip by.
Robert.
Get
The
cheap.
medicine,
You
Robert.
are
The
cheap.
medicine is your friend, Robert. The medicine is your friend. could the Andrews is saying, I'm hoping that Wan-Bissaka gets a looking at right back. I don't know about that
Who?
one, Chief. Aaron
For
Wan-Bissaka.
rotation purposes.
I mean, that has to be the only way Aaron Wan-Bissaka gets a look in for this team right now, because I mean, Dallo at this point seems to have that right back position locked down. So
Yeah,
I
because-
really don't see how
Or
many
you know what?
changes.
saw
We face Chelsea. When we face Chelsea, because him and Sterling, Wan-Bissaka usually pocket Sterling. Don't care
That's true.
who on form.
That's
Yeah.
true.
No,
And
I
Chelsea
guess I
have
can kind
no
of see that.
and Chelsea have no kind of 1-2 play right now. So Wan-Bissaka
Hey.
definitely could play that. Serious.
Don't do that,
Right.
because I
Right now,
realize.
the only trouble man that Chelsea have right now is Aubameyang. But
Hey, don't do that. I realize this year people out for us. They will play garbage and then come by us and then turn into prime Barcelona. Just so.
But to be fair, Liverpool has been playing garbage kind of whole season except Bournemouth.
Bruh.
Let me
Yeah,
be
but
real.
they don't come.
Let me be honest. They would
Yeah,
not
yeah,
be
yeah.
doing anything that spectacular for the
yeah,
season.
because I mean,
I know.
they just
I just don't
let
trust them.
Leandro Trossard look like
I
a
don't trust
beat, like he's Eden Hazard
Yeah.
on their patch just now.
Yeah,
Guys,
dog.
we are nearing the end of our show. I mean, the bar is looking to lock us off until us last call. So I want everybody to go around. We'll start from the bottom. Give us your closing remarks on this, man. What do you have to take away from today? What expectations do you have going forward for the next few games? Because we have 8 more games in a space of 3 weeks.
You know what? I didn't watch the game from the beginning, which I think is good. I woke up late, watched the last 20 minutes. And what I saw in the last 20 minutes were guys digging in, still looking to create chances. Usually, like last season especially, we used last season as an example. At 3-0, the guys shut it down. The guys were like, yeah, we're not doing this anymore. But today, down 4-1, they were still trying things. Ended up being 6-3. People were saying, oh, City took the foot off the gas. City did not take the foot off the gas when they brought on Mahrez and Alvarez, because those guys were still trying to get goals. So I think that is a good positive. Martial getting a brace. Rashford and Martial being healthy, even though Rashford did not have a good game for this month. As long as those guys can stay healthy, with Ronaldo in the backdrop, we actually have 3 guys that can play in that in the middle position. Rashford can play at the wing, rotate with the wings with Sancho and Anthony. So going forward, attack-wise, we have options that we're going to need with the quick turnaround of games. So that's a positive. So that's 2 positive. We have
That's
options
true.
going forward, and the guys mentally they didn't give up in the second half of the last quarter of the game. They didn't give up. They kept looking to create chances. They looked better than what I watched in the first half, and they eventually watched the first half. So those are two positives that I can have going forward, that we can be onto something. We are possibly onto something going forward.
I'm glad we can see that from that perspective. CJ, what are your thoughts on everything?
I guess y'all don't take the same.
Nah, no, I'm not negative as well. Me personally, you really have to look at it like this. People have, we have more or less, we have Martial back. He showed that he could run. Rashford, although it was a risk to put him in fitness, he ran the whole game. He didn't come down with anything, no knock or anything. It's okay. And I feel like at this point you could rotate. You could rotate. I mean, look at Diego Dallo. Aside from the yellow card, the man does look committed at right back. At this point, I think you're supposed to look at it as this is a lesson. And depending on how we go, it could be a very much big L or a lesson. And I feel it could be a lesson, man. The side look like they want to do things, but mentally they're just a bit nervous with certain things. But come next game, if they finally start to score some goals, if Martial, I'm actually happy Martial got the 2 goals, especially because Martial, that would be the real thing for his confidence. And him on
Yeah.
confidence,
Huge morale booster. Huge morale booster.
because there was a joke somebody say he had better stats than Saka this season, and I can breathe. Man.
Hey, Saka
Hey.
is world class, okay?
Hey!
Saka is world class.
Hey!
According to some men, Saka is
Saka
world
and
class.
Anthony have 2 goals.
Yes.
Saka have.
Hey, Saka is world class, okay? According to Arsenal, he's world class. Okay? Thank you.
Look who according to. Anyway, President Chad, I was going to come to you, but I see like you need some time to clear. Just stop laughing. So let Robert go ahead.
Hey, I will say, so like the game, I was not surprised that we lost. My whole problem was that the way that we lost to me was very, it wasn't right. It didn't feel good to me. Could have gone down fighting. In my opinion, but I look forward to the next game. I want to see what we do against Everton. Not so much in the Europa League, but Everton. That game is what will show me what these guys really have. If they have the cojones to, come up from this and move forward, or is it that we are still gonna be playing the same kind of going back to last year? It can't be last year again. It had to be moving forward.
Well, hopefully that changes. Prez, you get the final word.
We one of the things I always enjoyed about football under Sir Alex Ferguson is you always knew when the team lost that they were going to get a response. You always knew, especially if it was a bad loss. It was like, yeah, see who we play next. Them fellas going and feel it for that loss. That's what I want to see, I know the team we playing in the Europa League is not a big team. But we had to try to go and score 6. To build our confidence. When we go and play Everton, we have to try to score. As many as we can. Because the only thing, well, not the only thing, but one of the things that has really built confidence is winning. And that's what I want to see. This is the first game of 9 that we played in October. So we have a lot more games to play in October, and we really had to try to start winning. And I had to start on Thursday. So expect the guys to go out there and give us a nice big W on Thursday. And that is, to me, a step in the right direction. And I've noticed I said a big W, not a 1-0, not a 2-0, not even a 3-0. We need to score. Well, 3-0, I guess, is decent, but we need to look to score 3 or more goals on Thursday. And that's that this team is bouncing back.
Yeah.
I think it basically it is we need a statement victory in that regard, because at the end of the day, a loss like this can derail momentum in the worst way, mentally, physically, emotionally, from that regard. And I believe that Ten Hag knows what he wants out of this team, and I think they're buying into what it is. But it's a matter of execution on their part on the day. He's gonna get things wrong. They're gonna get things wrong. We kind of have to anticipate and embrace that. But hope springs eternal. I don't believe that this result is automatically going to set the tone for the rest of our season. This was a hard one to take, but we have to pick ourselves up from it. So everyone here, we just want to say thanks to everyone in the comments. President Chad, Robert, CJ, Kev, thank you all for joining us, and thank you to everybody who is in the comments. Thank you to all our viewers. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We will be back during the week. We'll be back doing a breakdown for Thursday's game, which will coincide with our regular Thursday show, the United Hour. We'll do reviews. We'll have our top shotter and boom man of the week. Once again, 10,000 subscribers, and we will be giving away that CR7 autographed jersey. What are we gonna do, boy? City make us do this today. We basically had to. So, as President Chad always likes to say, Red Devils, we don't die, we multiply. Take care, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Appreciate what we're doing here at the United Hour, please like, please subscribe, and let's grow this community.